Hello everyone, and welcome back to Balance My Hormones. Today we're diving into one of the most common and trusted intramuscular IM injection sites, the glutes. If you're on TRT hormone therapy or another medical protocol requiring injections, it's crucial to use proper technique to avoid complications and ensure maximum effectiveness. The glutes are a great choice because they have a large muscle mass, making them a more comfortable injection and minimizing the risk of irritation. However, it's important to know the exact spot to inject and avoid the sciatic nerve. And in this video, I'll guide you through every step from preparation to disposal so you can feel confident and safe. So let's get started. So today I'm going to show you how to prepare your injection before we actually inject. And the injection will apply to really any ampule that you're trying to open. You may also be using multi-dose vials, but this video I'm going to show you how to open an ampule, and then we're going to progress into actually how to do the injection. Now the one ampule that's quite tricky for some is how to fill a 1 ml syringe, so it's a 1 ml syringe, with 1 ml of solution. So if your injection requires you to inject 1 ml and there's only 1 ml in the syringe, you may wonder, how am I going to get it all in one? And I've got a trick to show you, so make sure you keep watching until the end and you'll see how I fill the entire syringe without getting any oil to spill out, which is important because whether you're doing Sustanon or you're filling 1 ml of a syringe for the propionate, testosterone propionate, or testosterone naphthate comes in 1 ml as well. In past videos, I mentioned when you, especially with the Sustanon ampule, when you open the ampule, look for the white, for the dot. But on this particular formulation of testosterone propionate, it doesn't have a white dot on it. So what I tend to do is I look at the writing and I always snap away. So regardless if you have a dot on your ampule or not, then I'm always still pressing away, breaking it away from me. So that's the key when you make this ampule. So how do I take the contents out easily? We offer at Balance My Hormones an 18 gauge with a filter in it. So there's an 18 gauge 1.5 inch needle. That's what these are. They have a filter in them, and then this needle over here in the middle is what I would use to actually do the injection. How to open the ampule. So essentially on this particular testosterone, I look at the writing, I hold the writing towards me, I grab it with, I'm right-handed, so I grab it with my left hand, I take my right hand and I put it on the neck of the ampule. Before I do that, I'll usually wipe off the ampule with an Elco swab, because sometimes there could be bacteria that sits in the neck of the ampule. So it's important to wipe it off. Not the end of the world, but it's just good practice to minimize any contamination. Okay. Also, if there's any residual liquid in the neck of the bottle, I would normally tap it to make sure none of it's there. Once it looks clear, as you can see, it's ready to go. Again, I find it better, regardless if the writing is towards you, if there's a dot towards you. It's always better to have the dot towards you if there is one. If there isn't, I like to look at the writing and put it towards me. But regardless, always snap it away from you. So what I mean by snap away from you is you hold it with your left hand, and with your right hand and your thumb, you put it on the neck of the ampule. You can hold your two fingers together like this, and then you just snap away. That was that simple. Now that that's done, you would get your needle and your syringe. Try not to touch any part of your needle or your syringe. Take it out of the packaging like that, and then connect them together. It's just, this one's a lure lock, or it screws on, so that's screwed on. Remove the cap. Now place the needle carefully inside, trying not to touch any edges. Now it's inside of the ampule, and now I'm going to pull out halfway. So as you can see on here, there's gradients. This is going to go to 0.5-ish, and there's also like a little bit of an air bubble. So halfway, good, that's done. I'm going to place the ampule with the remaining testosterone on the table. There's a little bit of it dripping out. I'm going to pull back on the plunger, but not too far, maybe to about 1 ml. and that will remove some of the extra testosterone inside of the needle filter. I'm going to make room for it. I'll push all the air out until I see a tiny little bit of a bubble of testosterone at the tip, and see if I can get rid of most of the bubbles. Maybe I'll pull back again. And this can always be a bit different, but more or less what I'm trying to do is make room for it before I fill it up the rest of the way. Okay, so now most of the air's out. I've gone halfway through. I'm at the halfway mark. I'm going to go back into the testosterone propionate, or back into the ampule. I'm going to remove the rest of the testosterone. Still, there might be a few bubbles, but I'm going to remove the rest of it until I get to about 1 ml. And I think I'm nearly there. I'll go a little bit beyond the 1 ml. Be careful though, if you go too far, you will pull the plunger completely out. Okay, so that's should be most of it done. So you can see the plunger's at the end. If you pull back any further, really, you're going to reach a point where it may just end up falling out. So just be careful not to take it too far out. I'll tap it, make sure that there's no bubbles. I might even do it on the side. Okay, so at this point, it's going to be ready to have the needle that's going to be used for the injection. So what I'll do for that is I'll just swap out the needle. I usually put this back in the original. I'm injecting with this one now. So I'm going to open up, remove the packaging. I'm going to take off the needle filter. I usually do this with one hand, and I'm going to place a syringe into the new needle. There's no filter on this. And when we say needle filter, it's an inline filter. It's an inline filter that removes any glass particles. Okay, so now my needle's on top of the syringe. I've got a whole 1 ml, actually more than 1 ml in here. And then I can use the excess to push through. Okay, so I'm pushing through, and you'll see there's still a little bit more than 1 ml. And that's where I can fine tune this thing. If there are bubbles, I can just keep tapping it. And for the most part, I've got a little bit more than 1 ml in my needle. So now I'm ready to inject. Now I'll show you how to do the injection. Okay, so it's been a very long time since we've made a video on how to do the injection in the glutes. And in particular, I want to show today how to do the ventral glute injection. And this is an area that is not very well known, but it can be a lot easier, especially with a shorter needle. And it's an area that's relatively quite safe when you can locate where the ventral glute is. This is an area right around in this area here. So I'll put a needle right on this area of my ventral glute. So it's a little bit, it kind of comes out a little bit more. So I've prepared my injection already. I'm going to wipe the area with an Elko wipe just to be on the safe side. I'm going to prepare the area. So again, this little bit of an area over here. And just make sure there's no air bubbles inside. And literally just locate the space. A good idea is maybe to have an Elko wipe close by, so you might bleed in this area, you might not, it just depends. You just literally just put in this area here. Again, it's a small needle, and just kind of depress it as you go, medium speed. And then you can, if you can reach around and put this the Elko wipe there at the same time, pull the needle out and hold it, you can help prevent any blood from coming out if it were to come out. And just hold it, massage it a bit. And that's really it. That's all you need. Again, if you're doing it yourself, you can recap this or just put this in the sharps bin. And that's essentially all you need to do. Thanks for watching Balance My Hormones. If you found this video helpful, please give a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and hit the subscribe button for more TRT and HRT insights. Explore our website at balancemyhormones.co.uk for our blood tests, our free testosterone calculator, and all the tools you need to take control of your health. Together, we're making hormone therapy simple, safe, and effective. See you in the next video.